Afternoon guys, and welcome back to Japanesekoi. Got a couple of jobs to be looking at today. First of all, first one being is I'm going to do, or have done already, a couple of water tests to have a quick check on my water parameters. After doing pH test and ammonia test, nitrite, nitrate, I have found out that my levels in my pond, including the pH as well, was a little bit off. So I thought I'll do a quick KH test as well and see if my KH levels are also off. My pH was rather low, guys. Now, as we discussed earlier in one of my earlier live streams about KH and pH, and when your KH levels brought up with KH buffer, you bring up your pH. Now, as I've got the new filter system, we know nitrifying bacteria absorb KH. 2 weeks ago I checked my KH on the pond and the levels were fine. So I thought I'll double check them again, as I can tell that there is some slight tinge, not a great deal, but a slight change in coloration in the media, which is obviously the bacteria starting to form and grow on there. So I thought what I'll do is I'll check the KH and see what that's like. The KH, zero, non-existent, didn't have any in at all. Check my pH, extremely low. I've been lucky, guys, and I have had no problems. Fish have seemed a little lethargic, which is what I thought. I'll give them a quick check and a quick test and make sure. So I'll spin the camera around. We'll show you what I've been using. I ain't going to show you how I've used it or go into that. I've done that before in an earlier video, link above. I'll stick it in the top corner if anybody's interested in how to do it and how I do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it that way, but that's what I do because I don't want to put too much in and cause any problems. But what I am going to do is a KH test again and see if my levels have come up to what they want them to be, which should be between the 6 to 8 dots or drops per. The test is you put one drop in first, that turns your water blue. It then should take between 6 and 8 drops then to turn the water back to yellow, as that being the amount of, I think it's, let me just grab the bag 1 second. I think it's called, I think it says on the back of the bag, which is increase your KH of your pond water by 3-4 DKH by adding 50 ml of powder to 340 litres of 75 imperial gallons. So what I've done is added in the required amount that I want for my pond, which obviously everybody's pond is going to be different because everybody's literage or gallonage is totally different. All ponds are different, so this is going to have to be something you work out for yourself, which I said before and I've touched on before. Always add it sparingly, little bit by bit, you know, then that way then you're not adding too much at once. And then we'll do a test again to see what we're at. I've also been out on board. Oh, there you go. Fish are up and rising. They want a little bit of food. I've also been out on board, as I was saying on the live stream on Thursday night, I've also been out and bought a bag of Japanese mix. As you can see there, crude protein 38%, fat 7, fibre 2.3, 8.5 crude ash, moisture 7%, 25% carbohydrates, and it goes on and on and on and on with additives and vitamins A, D, E, C, and trace elements of E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. There basically is everything in there from all those different types of additives and such. But the ingredients, first ingredients, fish meal, wheat, soy, wheat gluten, fish oil, wheat germ, corn, gluten, rapeseed oil, alpha, spirulina, krill meal, palm oil, squid meal, yeast, paprika and antioxidants. I've taken some out of that bag obviously and sealed it back up, and I've just bombed it in a tub so you can see that's the food. This is what it looks like. I'll get a bit out of my hand for you to be able to see. And I've just had a bit of a conversation with Jeff Lees, and we've basically just done the same as this. He's held some of this on his hand and I held some on my hand, side by side, between DPD or JPD I think he's feeding, and this is their mix. Oh, this is the Japan mix from Japanesekoi, and to be fair guys, they look pretty similar. The fish seem to like it, they're coming up for it. I'll bang them a little bit on, see what they think, if they want to come up. They already have a little bit earlier. But I will say this, when it's a smaller pellet, they're not as fast on it as what it is, or as what they would be on a smaller one. I have noticed one or two fish flashing, which is not such a good thing, but they've been flashing after I've fed them mealworms, and the mealworms I've been feeding are quite long in length. I'll show you them. So, oh, I just dropped. So I've been feeding them these mealworms, which came from Japanese water garden. So what I've started doing now is I've started breaking these up a little bit. There we go. Somebody spotted it. Up they come for a bit of food. And when I feed them these mealworms, they like to have a bit of a flash about a bit. So I'm kind of thinking that it might be that. I'm going to keep my eye on them for a day. And if all else fails and I'm not too happy about them, then I will take one out, give them a scrape. Everybody looks good. Everybody looks alright, healthy wise. There are no marks on any of them or anything like that. Nobody's clamped up, nobody's settled on the bottom, nobody's sulking. So I'm going to put it down to perhaps maybe a little bit of an issue with the odd little bit of mealworm lodged gill area, something like that. And I have watched them a few times over this week while I've been feeding them mealworms. They do tend to flash quite a bit after they've eaten them. So whether or not it gives them a little bit of discomfort, well, I don't know. But so far so good. We'll see, we'll keep an eye out, and if needs be, we'll do a scrape. But I'm not taking fish out for the sake of a couple of them flashing every now and again when they've eaten. I'm going to put that down to just what they're eating for now, until I see more than one fish. It's the same couple of fish that do it. The chag does it, the Yamabuki Ogon, and the Ginrin Kahaku, the smaller one, not the bigger one, the one with the 5 or 6 little steps on it. Those three seem to always do it every time. There's nobody else seems to do it, nobody's clamped up, not going to rush straight into the panic of scraping all my fish. Leave them be, see how they do, monitor them, keep your eye on them. That's what I like to do. Anyway, so we'll see what they do. I'll give them a little bit more food in again in a bit. Now then, what I have noticed and what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to get myself back to some kind of organisation in the shed, put these food back up. Yeah, so these are them, mealworms, and freshwater shrimp, and silkworm pupae. And what I have done is, rather than feeding just one or then the other, then the other, then the other, what I have done is I've taken a tub of my old freshwater shrimp tub that I got, and I've mixed up all the lot, and I give them so there you go, give them a mix up of all the lot, and I give them all a bit of each. So they get a bit of mealworms, they get some freshwater shrimp, and they get some silk larvae pupae as well. So we'll get this popped back up out of the way for the next batch when I need to mix some more up. We'll stick that food back up there, ready to go. And again, this is what we're saying, guys. If anybody's interested, anybody needs any food, it's free to a good home if you want it. There is one rather large bag of Webex 10 kg. It's had a little bit taken out and put into a tub, just so that I could feed them some. We've got this one here as well, coppins, more coppins, more coppins, more coppins. Everybody's interested. I think what I might be doing, I might keep the wheat germ and that tub of wheat germ, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tubs of coppins and that bag of Webex. If anybody's interested, hit me up in the comments below and we'll get some sorted out. Need to get myself a new NT Labs test kit, because my little bottle, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but this little bottle, the number 2 section for the ammonia test, has dried out on me, and I've run out. That one's run out, so I'm thinking it must have been leaking in box slightly. I've had enough just to do a test today, and I've been doing a pH test, and that one's run out, so I'm out of pH. Whether or not you can just get replacement bottles, I need to look into. I would imagine you could, but what I am going to do is a KH test. I also have got myself a pure pond bomb, and that is going to be going into the moving bed. Now, as you can see there, it's not moving around so much as what I want it to do. I've just been messing around and tweaking about a little bit, and I have got a slight stagnant area here, but it is colouring up a little bit, and it is starting to take a little bit of a browny tinge to it, which is the reason why I think I've got a lower KH, because obviously the good bacteria that's forming on there is absorbing it and using it, which is what it's supposed to be doing. So anybody that's setting up a new filter system, keep your eye on your KH levels. If you're using media, then you need to keep your eye on it. Oh, my coffee. That's gone cold. Never mind. Still lukewarm, not too bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a KH test, and I'm hoping that we get somewhere in the regions of 6 to 8. That's what I'm looking for. So I have somewhere, there we go. Take a little sample of water, give this tube a rinse out because it's still slightly got a bit in from the last test I've just done about an hour ago. Give that a clean out. And we'll top it back up to the little line. And for all those of you that are there today at the BKK show, I hope you're all having a great day. I hope the weather's picked up. It was pretty miserable this morning up here in West Yorkshire, absolutely bouncing it down, but the sun's come back out now. So basically, KH test with the NT Labs. 1 drop should turn your water blue, and then it's another drop till you turn the water back to yellow. So 1 drop, technically you should use your lid, but just for demonstration purposes I'll just use my finger. And as you can see there, that's turned the water blue. So now we need to give it another drop and count the drops till as such time as the water turns back to yellow. So we've got 1 and a shake up of the water between each one. Two. 3. 4. 5. I reckon we're going to have a KH of about 5. Looking how that changes then slightly. There we go. So a KH is 5. It's not too bad. I have just quite recently added some more, and this is the stuff I use, guys. Other stuff is available obviously, and you can use whatever you choose, but I use KH Buffer Up, and I have just used that. I have just added some about 20 minutes beforehand. So what I will do now is I'll leave it, because that's gone back to yellow on 5 drops. I'm going to leave that, clean this out, and then we'll retest again towards the end of the video and see if it changed or if it's gone up after it's all circulated through the filter system and back to the pond. So we'll see how it goes for now. And the next thing I've got is, there you go, fish feeding. See, with the smaller pellets, it takes them a lot longer to clear it all up, keeps them a lot more busier as well. Got a new bag of alpha grog. What I'm going to be doing is taking a bag of alpha grog and I'm going to be putting it into some of these onion sacks that Jack gave me. Appreciate it, mate, thank you. So what I'm going to be doing is banging them in a bag of this, giving them a rinse off, putting some in so that I can, when it comes to going into the last chamber, into this one, I can pick them up, take them out, give them a swill off, rinse them back out, put them back in again. Nice and simple, nothing too complicated. And tomorrow I will be getting some Backhouse media as well. That I'm going to be picking up the Backhouse media, bringing that back, putting that in some of these bags as well, and then I will be adding another layer of Backhouse media over the top. And what I was thinking, because this is what I've got left of the media from the moving bed, is a bag of media there. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. Hit me up, guys, let me know what you think. I was thinking of perhaps putting a couple of bags of this in, maybe a bag of that in, a couple of bags of that, and then going in with the Backhouse media over the top, so that this last chamber will have alpha grog, maybe that little bit of media in there, alpha grog again, and then over the top the Backhouse media, and then returning back to the pond. This one, so you can see now, has got, now I've turned up the air a little bit, a mixture of K1 media, K3, and some of this stuff. I'm not sure what the name of that one is, but this was all given to me by Daz. So it's all been PP, cleaned, bleached and everything, and then left to soak. But it's starting to go up and it's starting to colour up, and I think that's what's been using the KH in the pond. So as you can see, the pond pump down there is due a service because it's running slightly slow. So I know that inside my pond pump it's going to have a little bit of plant matter and all the rest of it, because they've all been nudging around through the lilies a little bit and they've all been tearing up in the pond a bit, and I know that's going to be partially blocked because it's running at 7,000 litres per hour. Sorry, there you go, 7,000 litres per hour, and if I turn it up full, the water level doesn't go up a great deal because there's not much coming through there because it's slightly blocked. So I need to take this off, clean this up and get that sorted out. But just so you can see, guys, now, so what I have got, bear me 1 second, I'll try and get this lid off. What I have got there is jack matting. So it comes into the first chamber, well, a lot of midge flies coming out of there. Comes in first chamber, into the jack matting, into the moving bed, and then this one's going to be as we've just already discussed. So you can see the system's up and running, and up to press, guys. I'm well happy, extremely happy with, first of all, getting and stopping feeding coppers. Bottom of the pond, oh, spooked them then. Bottom of the pond, guys. There is an odd little piece of food down there because some of that food is sinking as well. There is no mess. No muck anywhere at the bottom of the pond. Nice and clean. So the bottom drain, the no return valve, bottom drain's just beyond it there. No return valve, through, up, round and under. This one is now just running in the corner, just as a polisher, into this barrel and filtering through there. Feeds in, up through the UV, pump external, up through the UV, into the first barrel, through the jack matting, through the moving bed, and as discussed, Alpha Grog, BHM, Baggy House Media, and a return. So that's what we've got, that's what we're using, that's what we're up to. So, yeah, up to press, pretty impressed. The filter system that I've made is working, and yeah, alright, there's been a couple of little teething problems, nothing major, nothing bad. A few alterations which you all saw me make on these bits there, and yeah, we had to stagger it, but it cost another 19 quid to make the alterations, and I don't know, maybe 20 odd quid for a few bits of stone to go on bottom to raise them up. 100mm raised on one, 50mm raised on the other. First one left exactly where it was, and now it's running and running fine. I can comfortably run it at I won't say 10,000 litres an hour, because it will overflow at 10, but it will run 9,000, which I would say is iffy close. Not, I mean, I've had it running at 9,000 and I've left it for a week, but the any slight problems, I don't want to be pushing my luck. So what I've been going for, and I want longer dwelling time coming through the medias and such, is I've been hitting it at about 7,000 to 8,000 litres per hour, and it seems pretty good at that. It runs pretty well, but I can tell when the pump is partially clogged because the flow return slows down a bit. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get the pond bomb in. Now it says on here, and I don't know if anybody's used any of these, the only reason why I'm using one of these is doing the nitrate test and the ammonia test. Obviously I had ammonia. Anybody that says they don't, does, because you have to have, if you've got nitrite and nitrate, you have to have had ammonia because it's a part of the cycle. I want to drop one of these in because I want to help the filter system. I have put in old tub, but I had some of these pure pond balls. I had about half of them. I put a quarter in the outside filter and I put the remainder into the moving bed. And if anybody that says that these things don't break up and they don't disappear or they don't, you know, disperse and they go, put them in a moving bed, as they sure as heck do then. I think they did a couple of days and they've all broken up and dispersed. Some tiny little ones in there that keep coming up and seen every now and again, but the majority of them do break up. So what I'm going to do, and as it says here on the box, for the best results you can either add directly to your pond or into your filter, and I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. I'm just going to double check. One pure pond bomb is effective on ponds up to 20,000 litres. You cannot overdose your pond with pure pond bomb. For the best results, simply drop the award-winning pure pond bomb into your pond filter or directly into your water. So I'm going to stick it in the moving bed. I don't think it'll make any difference. Can also be used when starting up new filters as a high concentrations of bacteria and will help remove harmful ammonia, nitrite, allowing the filter media to mature. Add pure pond bomb into your biological stage of your filter. Moving bed is my biological stage of my filter, so that's where it's going. Let's see what it does. I've used this before in the past when I've had high levels. When the Shabubkin spawned last year, my ammonia levels went through the roof. went to see my local, and they pretty much said, bang one of these in, test it in 2 days, come back and let us know what you think. I did, 2 days, everything was testing perfect. Now, you want all the gel and the liquid, so I've just put that in the, rinsed it off, and I'm going to pour the contents of this. Let's spin that around so you can see what we're doing. I'm going to pour the contents of this straight in the moving bed. Liquid, jelly ball, lump and everything into yours. Now, what I like to do is give the pot a good rinse out. Make sure you get all that liquid, beneficial bacteria in. And there we go. I tend to put one of these in each year because I used to switch off my filter system through the winter. Now that my filter system is going to be in here, I don't think I'm going to need to. So, we've had the Pure Pond bomb. Excuse me, I'm going to have to tidy this shed up at some point, guys. We've had some of these go in. Pure Pond balls and one Pure Pond bomb. I put some of them in. This is probably 3 weeks ago, and now I've just thought we'll stick one of them in, give it an extra kick, an extra boost. There you go. As you can see there, guys, I just turned the head up a little bit. It's bubbling away nice. This is the bit that I was talking about. Now, on the live stream I spoke about how fast or how much of a boil should you have. That looks to me like it's turning over quite well. Just turned up the air a little bit. That's removed that dead spot there because I must have caught it or knocked it or something, because normally I have it on pretty full. My little control tap, it's just partially switched off, and this one is for the first barrel. When I want to give these, what I do is once a week I switch on the air to this one, switch off the pump with the barrels full, leave it for about an hour boiling and bubbling away, and then I flush the waste. Same with this one, turn it on full blast, leave it boiling away, and then flush the waste. And at this one, well, you can never have too much oxygen in your pond, so for now, while there were no media in there, I've just had this one bubbling away and returning back to the main pond. The more oxygen I can get in there, the better for the fish. So that's what we've been doing. That's a nice, I would say that's a nice rolling boil meat. And if everybody thinks the same, the media looks good, it's starting, like I say, it's starting to mature up, which is what I think my KH has been used up, because this has really changed colour in the last week, and that's what I'm going to put it down to, fingers crossed. So we can get the lid back on that one, get the lid back on this one, which they're done with. I'm quite impressed with it, guys. I mean, I know it's not brilliant, I know it's not as fancy as some other people's filter systems out there, but for a homemade filter system that works and does the job, and it'll run at 8,000 litres an hour. There's the type of media that I've used. That's a spare one. I've got 8 pieces of this in, exactly the same as that. 4 that way at the bottom, and then 4 that way at the top. That one's just left in there as a secondary spare. When I do a clean out, I take that one out, put all them in, and then I'll just switch it and recycle it, so that this one, you know, there'll always be one that's clean. Might as well, they came in a pack of 9, so I could only really fit 8 in, so we got 8 of them in there, all job done. Next one is to get this one up and running. The media that I'm going to put in, the added alpha grog, into some sacks, rinsed off, and then back into the pond. Hopefully. Oh look, check this out, guys. This is the third lily. This is what I was saying to you guys. Having salt in your pond and lilies. There you go. There is salt in my pond. It's up to 0.3. There we go. Nice little lily flower. it's just nicely opened itself up. That's the third one I've had so far, so looking pretty good. So I'm going to grab the Alpha Grog. I need to get grass cut as well because I'm busy tomorrow. Oh yeah, let's spin that round. Yep, busy tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to get the grass cut, so I'm going to have to hopefully see if I can get it done today. Busy tomorrow, going to look at, and for all those that who missed it and didn't see it on the Thursday Night Live, GKP Live, we're getting a new dog, a little cockapoo. Both myself and my wife and my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandson, they're getting one, which is the litter mate to the one that we're getting, obviously. We're going over to have a look at ours tomorrow, drop a few bits and bats off with the owners of the dogs, so that when we pick them up, we take them a little blanket over, take them over a couple of little tug toys and play toys for them and the other pups to play with. That way then when we pick them up, we bring them back home with us. They've got a little bit of their scent and smell from the family, so they won't feel so lost and lonely and uncomfortable, because they can smell the family around them and then gently introduce them into our family. And my son isn't going to be coming over with us on this visit, because actually tomorrow, 4 weeks old. The return visit then will be, I think maybe a couple of weeks later. I'm going to take his sons over and let them have a look at him as well, and then we'll be picking him up I think 8 to 9 weeks. So in another 4 to 5 weeks time from today, we will have a new little GKP Mascot, which will be Sonny, is what we've called him. He was born on a Sunday and the son of his mum, so we thought and named him Sonny. The other one, which you will all probably see, will also be my daughter's, which we're going to keep them together. Not together as in the same house, but keep them together so that they can always see each other. And that way then, they'll always be able to grow up together, socialise together, and everybody, including yourselves, will get to watch that progress. And you'll get to see them, hopefully, being as much interaction with me, the pond, the fish, the garden, the family, you guys as well. So get to watch this journey together. We're going to have a new bundle of joy. Probably go through all those teething problems, puppy problems, and everything else that you do. But I've got to be honest, guys. Both me and my wife have said it. Every day I get up, every day I see the house without them being there. It's just not the same. When you've always had a dog, I've always had a dog since being a child. I've always had a dog in my life, so it always has been. This has been strange. It's not a replacement, because no way on this earth could I ever replace any of the dogs I've ever had. He's going to be the next newest addition to our family. So watch this space, guys. You get to meet him. I will put in a couple of little photos, and we'll add them in round about after this now, and you'll all get to see him. Right, we'll get cracked on a bit. We'll get this media washed off, get that in the filter in time for picking up my backy house media again tomorrow, as well as, and once we've got all that done, I'll spin around the camera and show you how we're going. Get back to the antique. Alright guys, as you can see there, got all the alpha grog took out, rinsed off, cleaned off to get all the muck and dust off them so that we're not putting any dirt into the pond. Cleaned them all off. We actually have a secondary little pot of small little pieces. I don't want to be putting these tiny bits in, but what I will be doing is I'm going to make use of these again. The mini pond has some bacterial media in there, beneficial bacteria medias, and I'm just going to add these into each side of the chamber. So I got myself a little bit from a mini pond. 4 full bags here. I'm going to get them popped into there, and then the backy house media to go on top tomorrow when I pick it up. So I'll get these in and I'll get back to you in a tick. Right guys, there we go. I've got them all in. All 4 bags are in. Let them in, let them soak down into the bottom. And what I have done for ease of access is each one of them is tied off, and each one then is tied off to a little bit. And what I've done is I've just taken a piece around the outside of the pipe so that I can put the lid back on, seal that back over, and when I need to get hold of them again, lid off, boom, grab hold of the string, undo the little bow, take out each bag, give them a rinse off. So that's that up and done and running, sorted out. What I'm going to do now is just do another quick KH test. There we go. Quick water sample out of there. Let's see if we're still on 5 drops, or 5 drops, or whether we've gone up. Now it's had time to soak. So there's the one. This should turn it blue, which it has. 1 drop. 2 drops. 3 drops. 4 drops. 'It's not yellow, but it is green, so 5 drops. 5 drops to turn it yellow. So there we go. That's what it's at. Put the lid back on that. Note to self, we're going to need to get a replacement NT Labs kit because we're running low on those. So we're at 5 drops. What I'm going to do, I don't want to be adding too much all in one go. So what I'm going to do is leave that for today. Just rinse that tube out. Leave that for today, and perhaps maybe add a little bit more tomorrow, do another test and see what it's like. And then, hang on 1 second while I just put this box back together. NT Labs. That's the one I use, but I might be interested or might be considering getting a different test. That way then, there's a few bits and bats, there's treatments and such, there's treats and there's food, the new food, this is this one here. I'll give them a little sprinkle. They only been small pellets, you can give them a little bit every now and again. Let's see if they come up straight away on that. What I want to see is the new Asagi, which I got from Daz. There's the new growing show just there. But what I want to see is the new Asagi that I got from Daz. See how that one's looking. It is a fair bit smaller than some of the others. But they are liking this food, and it's not producing any mess. Doing it for free. This is the third day today, and we've got zero mess on the bottom of the pond. It does seem to slow them down a bit as well, and all when they're feeding for a smaller pellet. It's less commotion. Give it a little bit. I wanted to see if I could see the asage. What I'm going to do now, the next one is, as you can see, still not running 100% as fast as it should be. So I'm going to close this lid back up, as that's filter's running fine. I'm going to switch this pump off, switch this one off, and then move this underlay out of the way. I'm going to switch this pump off, close this valve, undo this, undo that, clean out the impeller, put it back in, open back up the valve, switch back on the pump, open back up the valve, and then that should increase the flow rate again. So far so good. So once I've got that done, guys, I'll get back to you in a tick. Right guys, there we go. Little bit of a spillage, obviously. I do lose a bit of water which is in this section of pipe from this bit here to here, and I do get a bit of a spillage from here. Way around that would be to put a gate valve here, which I will be doing at some point. Just means I've got to pick another one of these up, you know, as and when I can. All I do then is I open this back up. That allows the water in this pipe to backflow down, because it's on a slight gradient, flows back down into the pump. It primes the pump back up, fills up the little spillage that I had out of there because there's a non-return valve in the pond, fills this little piece of pipe back up, open this up, switch the pump on, boom, kick it back up and running. I always drop it down to about 3,000 litres, and I steadily allow this to build back up, top back up, and then just increase it back up to 7.5 in, you know, increments, step by step. No rush. I don't want to go away, walk away, and, you know, bang it straight back up and hope go wrong. Better be safe than sorry. So we've got the media bags in there now, as you can see. We've got some more backhouse media to come, pick up tomorrow. We've got the moving bed up and running, and we have the water level there. You can see my fingers are splashing around in it there, just below the tops of these. There you go, you can just see just below the top of these. Jack mine, or the cheaper version, does its job. I took this out last weekend, took them out and gave them a good jet wash and cleaned them up, put them back, absolutely caked in muck and rubbish. So they're doing its job, happy as Larry with it. So all there's going to be left to do now is just keep my eye on it, see how it goes, and adjust as and when necessary. So I'll get back to you in a tick. Right guys, so now next thing, all I need to do now, I've already done a filter clean throughout the week, but I want to do a slight water change. By doing a slight water change, I will be pulling the first lever, drop some out in the first chamber. When I drop some out of that chamber, I will then be able to top up my pond. Just it's down perhaps maybe so much with the evaporation from this week. So if I'm going to do a top up, I might as well do a good bit. Then I've done a 10% water change for a week. So all I'm going to do now open up the first tap, which I'll speak out. The rolling boil there, bubbling away on that one. This one, I'm just going to dump the water out of this, drop my water level by a couple of inches. And then, as you can see there, I dropped it maybe an inch or so, and just give it a re-top up. And hopefully, the reason why I'm doing this is I'm just doing a partial water change, is to try and get rid of some of that tinge to the water, because it looks disgusting. So that's my plan. That's what I'm on with. Let this system fill back up again. Each time I ditch one of these, it's 100 litre, that's 100 litre, that's 100 litre. If I ditch all three, that will be 300 litres. So you can see water level in there has dropped now as this barrel fills back up. And the pond level will drop a little bit more. And then I'm going to bang hose pipe in and add a little bit more. Give it a good flush out. This is going straight to the back of the shed, into a bit of a soak away at the back of the shed. Shut that off again. That'll be the last one, and then all I'm going to do. Oh, there you go, guys. You can see dropped another ½ inch or so there. And then when I've done that, I'm going to get grass cut, and that's my weekend chores done. Well, I say that's my weekend chores done. That's a lie, because I have the mini pond to service, clean and look after and sort out, so I'm going to get that cleaned up as well. Actually, what I will do is I'll grab the little tub and I'll bowl up some of the little fry that I got from Daz. We'll have a quick look at them too, and then see what you guys think of them. Now, I'll just wait for this pond to top back up, and then we'll go on to cleaning the other one. And if I'm going to give the mini pond a service, I'll put some of this alpha grog in with the in the little biological media chamber that's in the mini pond pump. Can't do any harm. Adding a little bit more media is always a good thing. So I'll get the pond top back up, bit of dechlorinator in, and then we'll jump onto that one. See you in a tick. How's it going, guys? Right, well, I'm going to give the mini pond filter a clean and a service, but I just thought I'd bowl up the small little fry that I've been given and let you have a look at them. So here we go, guys. Here they are. This is a selection of fry that I've been given by Daz. Not maybe the best light for seeing the colours on them all. Let's see if we can get into the middle of the lawn and get a bit more sunlight on them. Change a bit of the angle of the light. Hopefully that shows up a little bit different, a bit better. Don't know if it does or not. Quite a few. What I believe may very well be a Kajako, and the other ones, well, one here is a little Asage. Not so sure what that one is, pure orange one, but it's got a tiny little bit of black. But it also looks like it's got a bit more colour coming through on it. A little Sankey. And a couple of other random ones. That one looks like it's got some nice patterning coming through on it. But yeah, all in all, quite a little pretty fish. Try see if we can get a rough idea of how big they are. 7 cm for one of the medium sort of scale size ones, and the biggest one being in here now is pushing 9 cm. Yeah, quite a pretty little bunch. This one's quite interesting. This one I thought was a Seragoi, and now looking at it, it has a nice little even patterned. I wonder if this might be better in a clear tub. I wonder if you'll be able to see them better. Wait 1 second. There we go. That's a bit more apparent of what we've got now. You can quite clearly see all the different colours and the patterns. Some nice little fish. I think this one might be an Japanesekoi. I hope so. If it is, a nice pattern. Some nice colours to them. This one's a big armoured scaled, fully scaled with big armoured scaled Dautsu. Was different, but this one has changed a heck of a lot. This one was completely silver like a Seragoi, and now it's got a black pattern coming throughout it everywhere. Pretty cool. Little Sankit. A couple of metallics. But they're all roughly about between 7 to 8 cm. Now this is the one I'm really interested in. This one has completely gone really black, and I'm hoping perhaps this one might be a Magoi, which might be my official straight black koi. Pretty little thing, beautiful. Well, there you go, guys. So there we go, guys. Filter's all cleaned and done. Fish have just been having a little bit of a feed. As you can see, the colour's still tinged. Watercolour's still tinged. Little pond done, cleaned and serviced. Spin this round and again for you so you can have a quick look at that. I've just given them a good water change, cleaned all the filters out, and then topped up again. You can see there, a little murky, but when you top this back up, it does very much disturb all the algae that's on the bottom of the pond. It could really do with a good vac out. Next weekend I'll probably give it a good vac out, clean it all up. And it's had a good filter change, trimmed back all the dead on the plants. This one's had it, I think it might just have been a seasonal one, but I've just took up another couple. This one's going to come back. There's new shoots coming here, so it's all starting to kick back in again, put all the dead back and allow the new shoots to come through. So that should look good in a couple more days. So guys, usual thing, if you're enjoying this kind of content and you want to see the last and final stage of the filter build beginning midweek, I'll be putting out the last little bit with the backhouse media that's going in, and I will also be introducing tomorrow morning my brand new koi. I might do a little short for that one so you can have a look at him, get that one up hopefully perhaps maybe tomorrow, but the new koi from Poland should be here, should be arriving tomorrow morning. I hope you've all had a great day at the BKK show. Looking forward to seeing all the content that everybody's dropping out, but until then, usual thing guys, if you can do us a huge favour, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Until next time, keep smiling guys, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Take it easy.